Welcome back, sports fans. You're getting to watch another episode or listen to another episode of Off the Cuff with Monte and Geoff. But this time we have a very special guest with us. We have Ravenna Girls Basketball coach Noah Maulsby with us tonight. So thank you for coming on with us.
Thanks for having me.
And you all know that we always say, listen to us, don't watch us. But tonight, you're going to want to watch us because we finally got someone good looking in here.
That's right. It's not Monty and I, and we're well aware of that. So anyway, yeah, we got some. We're going to do two shows tonight. The first one that we're talking about is a little bit of a recap of this year for the Ravenna Girls Basketball, which kind of came to a disappointing end, I know, but a lot of positives, I think, throughout the year.
Yep.
So what would you say, just from a head coach standpoint, obviously last game aside, was your takeaway from the whole season as far as positives with regard to that?
You know what? I think we grew up on the line. You know, I think I think we're still defining our roles a little bit. But especially those juniors. They got put in positions this year that they had seniors that are I don't know, like a leadership standpoint, they had to like take the reins more. You know what I mean? There wasn't somebody else to do it. And I thought those juniors did a nice job of contributing more, taking those leadership roles. Even more vocal. Obviously, anytime you have a team, some people are going to be vocal, some people are going to do things by more actions. But I thought that the juniors actually did a pretty nice job of stepping up and being those leaders for us.
Yeah, that's great. And like you said, juniors, that's your core coming back next year. And so, for those of you that don't know, and I'm sure that's not very many of you that follow sports, made it all the way to district finals, lost to Cedar Catholic in the finals. But going into that game, we were third rank overall. Third rank overall.
3 versus
so,
14.
So did some really good things during the year, and just kind of came up short there at the end. But that experience is invaluable, I would say, going forward for next year.
And I think I've been impressed even and since the end of the year. I think it was definitely a motivator for them. They've even started to get in the gym and get shots up starting this week. There's a number of girls that got more than 200 makes this week. We're doing individual skill stuff, and honestly, it's not even so much of me saying, all right, hey, we have to do this now. Like they're motivated, and that's awesome to see.
So quick after the season too. Yeah,
it is.
That's nice.
And we know it's not like they're not burning themselves out. You can go make 100 shots with the shoot away in a half an hour.
Sure, right.
But it is, and it's been a big thing for us this off season. It's going to be, we even talked to the girls about it. Skill development.
Sure.
We all have our strengths, but how can we become more well-rounded?
Absolutely.
Sure.
And that off-season work is where you develop a little more team chemistry, which, having watched quite a few games this year, I didn't think that was necessarily lacking per se.
No.
But the less you have to think about where your teammates are going to be, that more cohesive unit pays dividends down the road. You start looking at some of the state championship games that were played this last week, and you could tell some of those kids that have been playing together since they were grade school. So that's an exciting thing, I think, for Ravenna Girls Basketball for next year.
Yep, it's a little different than it used to be. It's not a 3-month deal anymore.
No.
It's almost year round.
It is, and it is. It's a fine line between making sure they don't get burnt out, but yet doing the things they need to do to be competitive. And they have goals, and they're hungry to get to a state tournament next year.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
That's the goal.
It's good. They're taking the lead on it.
Do you expect to stay in Class B1 next year?
Ooh, that's going to be close.
It is going to be close.
Looking at our numbers, our number is going to be 38, which that number would put us like towards the top of D1 again next year.
Okay.
But it all depends on where the line is.
Sure.
But it's going to be right there.
Because that changes every year, right?
Yes.
Based on how many schools have the program.
Yeah, like when you look at the number, actually St. Cecilia has got the same numbers we do. We're both 38.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it, if gun to my head, I'm saying we probably stay in D1, but
That's how you control it.
yeah,
too,
oh,
so,
absolutely, yeah. The number's in, and it's all
Sure.
yeah. So it is what it is now. You gotta wait for classifications to come out, but.
Well, but honestly, you guys play quite a few Class C2 schools, and
And
even
C1 too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
C1 schools just with the conference that we're in.
Well, that helps us, like even being in D1, we get all those bonus points,
Mhm.
which help us get the 3 seed. Yeah, our schedule doesn't really change. It's just whether or not you're going to play in the postseason. Your sub district is really all that's going to change.
Is there any changes for next year?
For our schedule
For regular season?
No.
No, it's all the same as this year pretty much?
We kind of looked at getting into the showcase. The problem is the weekend they do the showcase, it's just really hard to make it work out for us because we already play Thursday, Friday,
Oh.
and then it's that Saturday. So you're talking 3 games in a row.
And your third game against
And yes,
because
yeah.
they're gonna line you up with somebody that's gonna be super
And
competitive.
even next year, like those Thursday, Friday games are on the road,
Oh.
and they did, there was talks about, Shelton's one, Hastings another one.
Because they used to be on our schedule. Shelton
Yeah,
was.
yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, they did, so, no, if we play Shelton, we'll have to be.
Would that be a dream matchup if you can play Shelton at some point next season?
It'd be fun. I don't know if I'd say it was a dream matchup, but
Would be for the fans, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say. No, honestly, it'd be a good competitive game. A team like that, they're obviously well coached, and they bring everybody back too.
Right. Yeah.
And looking at their numbers, they could even be D2 next year.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Huh, that would be something.
Yeah, but yeah, no,
Because
they had a
their
good
boys
season.
were D2, were they?
Their boys were D2. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's weird now when you got girls being
Yeah, it is.
one
I don't like
class and
that.
boys. Yeah, it makes it a little more difficult to figure out, sub districts and all that stuff. But
Yep.
I've heard a movement of trying to get less classes in the state of Nebraska, from 6 to even 4. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I honestly kind of like the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go your 6 classes. So you talk about basketball. Your state tournaments. Obviously, you get more teams down there.
Right.
Which the thing about the state tournament, that's a great experience for kids. And not only for the kids, like the fans, think of me and Coach Bullen were actually just talking about this today, like what it does for a community. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
It is very positive. Yeah.
it is, because
Yeah.
everybody gets behind it, no matter what. It doesn't matter what sport it is,
Right.
And it's crazy, in the last few years when we were down there, just the number of people that travel down, and it's awesome. Like you're looking up the state championship game, like I don't even know half of these people, but this is awesome.
But they're here cheering for
Yes,
us.
they're here supporting us, and
Yeah.
no, that's awesome.
I agree with you. I think, and not necessarily, obviously Ravenna moved down to D1 this year, have been playing in C2 for the majority of the time. I think you can tell a difference between C1 and C2 and D1 and D2. And I think if you put all that class together, I think that makes it so much harder and like you said, just the experience. That experience of being down there at the state tournament and having all the support and your community show up for you. I think that's important to kind of maintain that level.
It is. I'm in favor of that too, keeping it as it is. I just know there's a movement from some of the big dogs.
Well, then you think about it, like you start looking at the enrollment numbers in your bottom classes. Like you make 4 classes, and you're having an enrollment of 150 in the same class as somebody who was 40. Like,
Right, that could happen, yeah. That's a big
choosing
disparity.
40, and you're choosing 150 athletes. Like that's
Yeah,
it is
not a fair fight.
Yeah, but it also is what it is. We'll do whatever they tell us to do.
Yeah, you don't really get a lot of choice in
No, I was
that,
gonna say.
but that's
We get our vote. That's about it.
well, it's always exciting. I think when you get to the end of the year and even if you don't meet your goals, which we know Ravenna didn't this year, because I know that there were a lot of kids and a lot of people from Ravenna that were really hopeful, and Ravenna's kind of known for liking to run down to state and making a run through state, but it's always exciting when you have the community all kind of galvanized and behind the team. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yep.
So we got a few quick questions for you, Coach. Some other
All right.
questions. What do you think is the best game your team played this year?
Like we were talking about before this, that's kind of tough for me to say like the best all-around game. I think we were a team, and I talk about this all the time in the paper, but where we're definitely a third quarter team. You put all the third quarters together, and we were pretty freaking
You're
good.
great.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, we were talking about Kearney Catholic. I think that was one of our better defensive performances, and honestly,
That was an exciting game. Too.
It was, and I was really proud of how they responded in the second half of that one. Because there was a lot of things that did not go well, especially that second quarter.
Right.
Being down 8 and coming back, and honestly, just the atmosphere and it being Kearney Catholic, you know, that it was obviously a really big win. It was an ugly game. You know, we did a good job of making it ugly. They did a good job of making it ugly.
Right. Right.
But now, is that the best game that we played? I don't know.
What about the first St. Paul game? I know you lost it, but you were beating those guys.
We were, and you know what? Except for a 3-minute stretch, that probably was one of our better all-around games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we had a tough 3-minute stretch there where they switched to a 1-3-1. We had some turnovers for points, but you know, we had I would even say, you know, some of the games that we lost were probably the more, like, you look at every loss we had, it was, you know,
They were tight.
Yeah,
for the
it
most
was
part.
2 to 4. You know, the Sutton game, the last 6 minutes, you know, we're down by 17 with 6.5 to go, and we cut it to two twice with
Yeah.
and we had the ball.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
Had a chance to win it.
Absolutely. You know, yeah, and that also talks about the character of the girls too. You know, like how many times you're down by 17. Guess on to the next one. Yeah, they did. You know, and things have to go your way for that to happen. But
Yeah, you had 2 bad losses really, Hardington and the second St. Paul game. Those were the only 2 bad losses, I would say.
yeah.
Otherwise, they were very close.
Yeah.
And even
That stinking Ord. I tell you what, Ord is.
don't get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that. Yeah, but you know what? Be fair. You know, like we put ourselves in that spot. You know, I don't know how many layups we missed, but yeah, Ord's kind of thorn on our side, aren't they?
They wanted to beat you that bad that night.
Oh,
You could
I
just
know.
tell they were amped up for that game.
Yeah, that was a game of runs too. Yeah, we had a big 3 tied up with 15 seconds, and then whatever happened.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about
No,
that.
we don't.
Okay, sorry.
We're not bitter about that one.
Who was the best player you saw this year for the girls?
The best player that we saw.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's probably hard for me to pick one. You know, obviously Popper for St. Paul. She's a matchup problem.
Mhm.
Right.
You know,
And she graduated, thank goodness.
She is, yeah. And she's a matchup problem for us. But then the other girls do a good enough job of, like, when you give her too much attention, which kind of what happened in the second game, and they hit shots in the second game too.
Right.
But you know, I would say that she's one. You know, not best basketball player, but the post for Hardington Cedar Catholic might be one of the better athletes.
Oh.
I don't know,
Nokum?
15.
Nokum?
No, that's number 2.
Okay.
Noker is,
I think it's Colin. I'm pretty sure it's
yeah,
Colin.
it is Copy, right? Yeah, number I'm good, but
Yeah.
I
15.
think I know her dad is why it rang up for me.
Yeah, she's one heck of an athlete. I'll tell you that. I bet she's a really good track
Yeah.
kid. But,
Yeah.
you know, honestly, the Kearney Catholic girl, I went brain dead again. 3. Starts with the K.
I love it that he knows the numbers, though.
Yeah, I got numbers.
Knows the numbers.
I'm good.
I can't think of the name either, actually. So,
Yeah, see, and you're supposed to remember all of
Yeah,
them, right?
sorry.
No, left-hander. I mean, she's really good at getting to the rim too. And actually, I thought we did a pretty good job on her. But you know, there's a lot of different players throughout the year that we had to give plenty of attention to.
Sure.
And I don't know, it's different than it used to be. Even when I first started coaching, like there was you walk in the games, you're like, okay, I know we're winning this. You know what I mean? And like
Everybody's better now.
It is like
Yeah.
the overall depth of you have to show up every
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
You do. So
Well, just speaking to that real quick, you guys played Anselmo Myrna in the Pleasanton Holiday Tournament.
They went
Had to
0-2.
come back.
Mhm.
Had to come back and beat them by what, 1 or 2 points. It was a
came
close
back by
game.
1. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got stopped at the end just like Kearney Catholic.
You think about it. Okay, this is a D2 school.
Mhm.
You think going in D1, C2, D1
Yeah.
going against D2 should be, even if they're a good D2 school, no, they end up going to state. So you look at that, like you said, no game is a given,
Oh,
and
no.
it's getting even more so that way now.
And they finished 5th in the final rankings.
I don't even know we finished.
6th.
Did we?
Yep. Hardington was 4th. Elmwood Murdoch was 5th. You guys were 6th.
At least Hardington went and knocked off the 1 seed.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that made me feel better or worse.
I thought it was good, actually.
Yeah, it was. They were better than a record, but it is what it is. Still, I'm not bitter about that one either.
What about
You
the
never know,
best
you
boys
might-
player?
What, the best boys player that I watched?
Because I know you stuck around to watch
Oh
most of
yeah.
the games. So.
Oh yeah.
Was it Mahoney or was there somebody else?
Mahoney's good. It maybe not the best player, but just fun team to watch. dump and trumble. Just the way that, I don't know if it's because they kind of play like we have in the past, where it's up and down, you're quick. You know, they played it well, they drive, kick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, Mahoney obviously overall talent.
He's got it. Yeah.
He probably does. But you know, Wood River was fun to watch too. And honestly, our boys played really well against them.
Yeah, they should have beat them the second time around.
Yeah.
Yes, they should have.
And they even played them tough. Even played them tough the first time.
Yeah.
You know, let's see who else we got. I'm trying to think back of the boys' schedule.
Oh, jeez.
Give me some other players and I'll.
I'm trying to think.
The Central City kid's pretty good too. That's sophomore.
So I didn't see that. So I didn't see all the games. So
Yeah.
You see them all.
And they did actually a pretty decent job on him too. But yeah, he was pretty good as a sophomore. I can't remember his last name either.
Oh, he's a sophomore too.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. No, he started as a freshman last year. Yep. No, our comps for boys they were pretty solid this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
They were.
So what do you think is your team's strength this year?
This year?
Yeah.
You know.
And then their weakness.
Yeah.
actually, too.
You know, our strength, I think, was when we were playing our best is when, you know, we created turnovers, we get in transition, you know, we run. That's something that we always want to do. Now we need to work on building better depth so we can do it, you know, all the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, we like to shoot a lot of threes, obviously, as we talked before this, you know.
Sure.
Averaging 21 threes a game.
That's
a
pretty
lot.
good.
That's a lot of them anyway.
21 shot.
Yes, 21 shot.
Yes.
That's like 6 point something maybe. But
Which is still a good average. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
28%
you
not
know,
bad for a
it's
team.
for a whole team. You know, there are a lot of times there are a lot of teams that you have one or two good 3-point shooters, but as a team you average way less than 30.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty decent average from three. Like you said, you kind of like to see it right around 30 or above. So you know, another
We're
year of
close.
experience. Yeah.
there we go.
Yep.
Very close.
Keep working at it. But you know, we like to, you know, we want to be aggressive. We want to get steals. You know, get out and run.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're not scared to shoot the ball when we're open. You know.
Sure.
I would say those are probably it's our strengths.
Does everyone have the green light?
Does everyone? Most of them. Some of them have more of a green light than the other.
Sure.
But you know, so we do define a little bit. Like, you know, you're an inside out person. If it goes inside, it's a driving kick. It's fine. You know, some of them have the green light anytime it's open.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I was supposed to ask made a few shots later on in the year, and she doesn't normally take those shots.
Yeah,
so.
but it was the thing is, you get to the end of the year, you know. People scout you. People know your strengths and weaknesses.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
and people were backing off of her, and you know that to her credit, and she didn't think twice about it. She was open.
she
That
was
Pleasanton
good.
game, that Pleasanton game, she was huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's what sparked us in the first quarter. And you know what? She has capability. She's that girl. She's got to keep doing it over and over and over again. You know. And we actually talked about that. You know, in our off-season stuff, and she's been one of the ones that are in shooting, and so that's good. So hopefully next year we can see more of that from her.
What about your weakness?
I knew you were gonna come back to that.
I
Yeah, no, I know.
I have an opinion, but I want to see what you say.
You know, I would say honestly, probably turnovers.
That's what my opinion was.
We get sloppy sometimes.
Yeah. The passing and
Yeah.
just
Yep, and just getting weak with the ball sometimes. Even it's not even like against people's presses and stuff. Sometimes it's, you know, driving, just getting people getting a hand on it and not ripping it through. You know, stuff like that. I think we need to get stronger with the ball and limit our turnovers a little bit and clean up our rebounds a little bit too. You know, I would say that's probably
okay.
so. Hey, we got something to work on.
Do you have any 8th graders that are going to help you next year?
You know, I know that we have 2 that are going out. I got to work on a couple more to even go out.
Okay.
You know, are they going to come in and
That's
start
hard.
first?
No, yeah.
They're not. You know,
Which is pretty. I mean, that's pretty
Oh,
rare.
yeah.
Pretty
It
rare
is.
that you have a freshman start right
Yeah.
away. But
Jordan comes to mind, but that's about the only
Well,
one.
There is, and even like some of the good ones, like that we've had in the past. You know, it's really hard for a freshman to even come and make an immediate
Impact.
It is. But you know, we'll have to see how they do in the summer. You know, they'll add depth, and you know what, the 2 that I know are going out. You know, they have good attitudes. They'll work hard. You know what I mean, and they're gonna bring good things to our team. So I'm happy to have them. Hopefully, get a couple more.
Yeah, I hope so too. Because I've heard there's a couple that aren't planning on going out, so I'm hoping
Yeah.
they can change their mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some work.
do some sales.
Yeah.
Work on a sales pitch.
Yeah.
I already asked you that question, but
We got it.
no, we already dealt with that. It's we don't need to deal with it again.
Yeah.
Have you had a more frustrating loss in Hardington?
A more frustrating loss.
Yes.
I'm sure I probably have, but
Really?
you know, I know we talked about this a little bit too, but like I knew when we got the draw that Hardington was good.
Yeah.
You know, like I knew they were better than like what their seed was like. So I knew it was going to be an easy game. So yeah, was I frustrated the way we played? Was I frustrated in all the circumstances? Yes. Was it the most frustrating game? Probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
Probably not.
That was one of the hardest losses I've seen.
Yeah.
You know, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I know. There was a couple times a few years ago, a couple of those County Kappa games that were close were pretty
That-
tough to swallow.
that you
but
probably
we just
had
couldn't get
them,
over the
yeah.
hump. You know, even times I thought maybe we were better than them. Those
Yeah.
were pretty frustrating. You know, I would say that our semifinal game at state, the year we got third, it was pretty.
Yeah.
The number one seed gets upset. You think you got a
Yeah.
shot to go. You know that. So
Yeah.
no, I'm not gonna lie. It's up there.
Yeah, it's got to be up there.
I mean, it is. It is. You know, those district final losses are all kind of
Yeah.
tough to swallow.
That's rough.
You're that close. That close. You know,
Do you have a plan on, I should ask you this earlier, but do you have a plan on how you're going to improve the turnover situation?
on the what?
How do you,
Oh, turnovers.
Yeah.
You know,
Is that-
a lot of it comes down to individual skill. I mean, as they get older, it's someone's decision making too. You know, but a lot of it is just being confident with the ball and doing those individual workouts and stuff that we're doing. Where you know, I even have my kids in there, you know, with pads and stuff, hitting them as they're going through.
Oh, really?
You know, so
can you practice against the boys?
can we practice?
Is that
like,
allowed?
No.
It's not okay.
No,
I didn't
like
know
during
it
the
was not.
season stuff, no. I mean, you can have pickup games and stuff outside
Yeah.
the season, but like actual us going and practicing against them during the season, no.
Okay, no.
That's probably shouldn't do that.
I think that you're probably right about the strength thing too as well. Like you said, being strong with the ball, ripping the ball, things like that. Again, another year's experience, another year of confidence, another off season to work on stuff like that, and I think you'll see improvements there too.
Yeah, and honestly, depth will help that too if we can build up depth.
Yeah.
You know, because you know, you got girls sometimes playing 30 minutes a game. Like you start to get tired.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
weaker with the ball. Your decisions.
Yeah, you do.
You know, they.
And the
they
quality
start
of
to
play
lag.
has something to do with that too.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
I think we have a lot to be excited. I hope you're excited for next year. I think
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people are excited about Ravenna basketball for the girls next year, and the boys as well. They made some strides this year as well. So again, we want to thank Coach Noah Maulsby for coming on here with us tonight. We're going to take a short break and be right back with you.
All right.
all
Thank
right,
you.
signing off.